This is one presentation which was in my mind for quite some time. The question is, what happened to bevacizumab? Now let's talk about the basic issue here, the molecule itself, bevacizumab. The bevacizumab is a recombinant humanized monoclonal antibody, and in 2004 it became the first clinically used angiogenesis inhibitor. Initially, it was approved and marketed for colorectal carcinoma in 2004 by US FDA. And it was seen that there was an improvement in wet ARMD patients who received this treatment for their colorectal carcinoma by intravenous use. So, a systemic bevacizumab therapy for neovascular age-related macular degeneration was initiated, and it was noted that it produced improvement in wet ARMD. Later, people translated this idea into an intravitreal injection, which became the preferred mode of delivery due to cost effectiveness, targeted delivery, and minimal side effects, or also including the lesser dose required. Now, the competitive molecules also need a mention here. So we have bevacizumab, also known as Avastin, that is a brand name. We have ranibizumab, which was approved by US FDA for specific intravitreal injection in ARMD. It is a molecule which is smaller than bevacizumab, but it is not superior to bevacizumab as proved by various studies, and it is more than 10 times expensive to bevacizumab. Another molecule for the same therapy is macugen or pegaptanib. Now, this was approved by US FDA for intravitreal injection in ARMD in year 2004, and it is a selective anti-VEGF inhibitor and thus lower efficacy but has a better safety profile. So it is active only against the 165 isoform of VEGF. It is safer for subjects with comorbidity, but the efficacy is less. So in a nutshell, we have these three molecules which are in direct competition to each other, and the most popular molecule has been the Avastin as per the reports. Due to the cost effectivity of 20 to 30 times compared to competitive molecules, and it is being equally safe and efficacious when compared to these competitive molecules. So bevacizumab is the hero which we all deserve. But then there's a background story to it. Both Avastin and Lucentis, or ranibizumab, which was marketed as Lucentis and Eccentrix, are manufactured by the same pharma company, which is Roche Pharmaceuticals. And the manufacturer deliberately blocked the approval of Avastin for ocular use. And this was seen as unfair. And implications were so large that in 2014, the Italian Competition Authority fined Roche and Novartis for the same reason, and they alleged that they are colluding to try to impose the more expensive ranibizumab instead of bevacizumab for ocular diseases through an artificial distinction between the two products. What happened in India? Since the start, I remember the Novartis, which was the marketing authority for this molecule, has been very active in inhibiting ophthalmologists from using this molecule, that is bevacizumab, as an intravitreal treatment option for ARMD or other diseases. And I remember that I had to resort to one of my fellow oncologists to procure this molecule for use in my patients because the company had deliberated its dealer not to provide it to the patients on an ophthalmologist's prescription. So this has been going around for some time, and in year 2016 January there was a report of cluster endophthalmitis following intravitreal injection of Avastin or bevacizumab, and this created a knee-jerk reaction by the Directorate of General of Health Services DCGI India, which banned the use of bevacizumab injection as an intravitreal treatment option for patients. So in a nutshell, it became illegal if you used it. So there was a reaction to this, and in March 2016, so this event occurred in January 2016, and in March 2016 the ban was revoked by the DCGI itself because of advices from AIOS, that is All India Ophthalmic Society, and VRSI, Vitreoretinal Society of India, which provided evidences of more than 3,000 publications citing the safety and efficacy of this molecule. But what happened next was something you can expect. The damage had been done, and most ophthalmologists have shunned bevacizumab as a choice for intravitreal injection for treatment of eye diseases because they find it uncomfortable to use it in a scenario where the law is sided towards using other molecules and they may be implicated as a negligent health care provider if they use this molecule. So what is the present status of bevacizumab? With time, although this molecule is not so popular now for ophthalmologists as per my observation, but with time, because of other indications, biosimilar of various companies are available in India now. Now biosimilars are something which are basically the generics of the products which are manufactured chemically. So there is a difference between those products which are generated biologically and those products which are generated with chemical processes. So when we use the term generic for chemically produced medicines, they are exactly identical. But the biological products have so many issues that the product may have a clinical efficacy and effect which is similar to the original molecule, but they may be differing in several other aspects. So that is why the term has been used, which is known as biosimilar. So for understanding, we can use biosimilar as a replacement for generic word for other medications. So we have more than 10 formulations which are available now for bevacizumab, and the price to the patient ranges from 10,000 to 35,000 for a 100 milligram vial. And this is the list which I have pasted from 1milligram.com, which is an online vendor for medications, and this is not the comprehensive list but the representative that it is available at these costs. So these all are presented as intravenous formulations, and the safety for intravitreal injection is not claimed by the manufacturer, so it is on the doctor itself to decide which product to use. And we have used Avastin and Zybev extensively, and for more than 700 injections we have found them to be very useful and safe for our patients with no incidence of ocular inflammation. The availability of biosimilars has made intravitreal anti-VEGF treatment even more cost effective now. So looking at the bevacizumab prices, the biosimilars are available at a lower cost and they can be used for these patients with much less and a fraction of cost of the competitive products. What is the bevacizumab in the present medical care scenario? The intravitreal anti-VEGF is much needed treatment due to its ability to improve visual acuity in macular edema. And this macular edema can occur because of various reasons, including ARMD, diabetes, retinal vein occlusions, and other inflammations. And this is the only treatment which is going to improve the vision. Bevacizumab is effective and least expensive option among the available options. Ophthalmologists are reluctant to use bevacizumab due to above mentioned hostility of lawmakers and the pharma industry. Thus, the use of bevacizumab is dwindling and patients have to opt for more expensive alternative even if they are counseled for these medications. There has to be a tag on the part of the healthcare provider that this is not approved for intraocular use, and this retards the choosing capability of a patient. So what is the need of the hour? So let us look at the scenario that bevacizumab is the most cost effective and equally safe option as an intravitreal anti-VEGF agent when compared to other available options. And for our population, where 80% of the population pays medical bills out of their pocket, it is bound to remain an attractive option for both ophthalmologists and patients also. So as we can see from this graph, this is out of a publication which tells us that more than 80% of the population has to pay from their pockets. So expensive drug means more expensive on their part. So with a resource limited situation, bevacizumab is going to be a choice for each one of us. The other issue is that the parent company has shunned the support for their own greed and have no intention to facilitate the approval of bevacizumab for intraocular use and make it more legal for us ophthalmologists to use it. And also the insurance companies don't provide support for these particular situations. Now what is the need is that the government policymakers have to take up the call and support ophthalmologists who want to use this very cost effective and choice of a treatment for these deserving patients. And we as an ophthalmologist have to teach the patients, devise safer techniques and generate evidence regarding the safety of those techniques so that we can put our intent and also the evidence that this works and this is safe. My concluding remarks are that blindness due to macular edema and the need to treat it is going to increase with time due to rising incidence of diabetes, especially for us in India. Bevacizumab is a revolutionary medicine which is 20 times cost effective than other options for treating retinal edema, which includes diabetes, retinal vein occlusions, inflammations, etc. Majority of people in our country do not have medical insurance and they have to afford the healthcare expenses from their pocket. So bevacizumab is the deserving option for each one of these. And when the situation is that the pharma industry is looking the other way when issue of appropriate intravitreal anti-VEGF arises due to their own interest and they are not taking any initiative to get this approved for intravitreal use, the onus lies on us, the healthcare providers and the government, which is supposed to be the welfare state, for the people to take up this call and look for a bigger picture and take steps to promote the use of bevacizumab for treating the retinal diseases. Now I have also provided my experience here that we have been using this molecule for quite some time and we find it safe and very effective. So the message for the audience is that let's not fall into the trap found by these pharmaceutical companies and use our clinical acumen and benefit for our patients who trust us so that we can provide them these cost effective medications for their health situations. Thank you.